Hey guys, what's up? Jeff here. Today I'm going to be adding a shore power connection to my van. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, step by step. So let's get into it.
We're Jeff and Lisa, and during the 2020 quarantine, we did something we thought was only a dream. We bought a Sprinter van and converted it into the ultimate road trip vehicle. On this channel, we share our van life experience, including van build how-tos, tips, hacks, and product reviews, plus van travel and lifestyle. So if you're new here, consider subscribing.
So I purchased this plug on Amazon. This is for a 30 amp connection. Most RV parks have 50 amp and 30 amp. My inverter charger can handle up to 30 amps, so that's what I'm going to be connecting. I also have an adapter so that I can plug it into here and plug in a regular 15 amp cord from a home. So I'll have the option of using either 30 amp or 15 amp. The reason I'm doing this is I finished my van several months ago in the fall, and even just having the van sitting in my driveway, just the solar was keeping it topped off. I mean, overnight, if I was running a few things, working on the van, it might get down to, 80%, and then the next day by noon, it would be topped off. Well, in the winter, the sun's a lot lower, and I have shadows from my house, and so I'm not getting nearly the solar that I had. I also have a battery heater hooked up that's running all the time. My refrigerator's running. And so with those things, it's been draining my battery. We've had a couple of snowstorms. I've got snow on my solar. And like I said, I'm not driving the van. And so it's just, I need a way to be able to top off my batteries and keep them charged when I'm not driving the van. This is going to give me a third way to charge the van. So right now I have solar, and I also have my alternator. But now with this, I'm going to be also able to charge with shore power, which will give me a third way and make it really easy to keep my batteries topped off. Now I have a Renogy system. I have a Renogy 3000 watt inverter charger. In order to connect shore power, you do need an inverter charger, not just an inverter. Most people are using either the Renogy or the Victron. Those are both great inverter chargers. And so what I'm going to show you here today will work with either of those, as well as really any other inverter charger that that's on the market. So with RVs, typically the shore power connection is on the outside of the vehicle. There's a little flip up cover, and you can plug it in. And some people do those on their van conversions as well. I don't really want to put holes in the side of my van. I also don't want to have the I want it to be more stealth so that it doesn't look like an RV. And so I'm going to have this inside my van, and then I'll just be able to run a cord through the back door and close the door with the cord, through it, and then I'll just be able to connect it that way. So what I have here is the plug that I got on Amazon, and I'll link to that in the description. And then I just have a short length of 10 gauge wire. So for 30 amp, you do need 10 gauge wire. And I just picked this up on Amazon. So I'm going to show you how to do that. First thing I'm going to do is I've got to strip back this wire so that I expose it. So this is a great little wire stripper for larger gauge wire. If you're using a smaller wire, you can do it with a wire stripper or even a knife, but this makes it nice, especially when you're doing battery cables. That's where I mainly use this, but you can use it for this as well. So you just spin it around, and you can see it strips off that cover really nicely. So I'm going to do that on both ends. I'm just going to strip off, about 1.5 inches. Again, you just put that over the top, spin it around, and I'll link to this in the description. It's a great little tool to have. You just spin it around a couple of times, and again, stripped right off. Then I'm going to strip these wires back just about 1/2 inch, This wire stripper, if you're doing a van conversion, it's worth investing. I think these are about $28 to $30. I don't remember exactly, but I will link to these in the description. I got these on Amazon. They're made by Klein. Klein is one of the best manufacturers of tools and things for electrical. And the thing that's really nice about this is it strips exactly a perfect strip every time. And it's really convenient, especially when you're down in areas where you can't see it very well. And it's got on one side, you can see it just, if that will focus there, it's just got the numbers for the wire gauge. And so because this is 10 gauge, I'm just gonna put this in on the 10 and leave the amount exposed that I want sticking out. And then you just squeeze it and it strips it off perfectly. So now I'm just going to take the cover off of this little plug. So once you've taken the cover off, you can see there's a silver, black, and green screw. So the green is going to go to the green, the black to the black, and the white is going to go to the silver. You're just going to loosen up each of the screws so that you can connect the wires to them. Snip off the excess wire and then just insert the wire into the little clamp for each of the colors and then tighten up the screws. Once you've got all three of the wires connected, just tighten up all the screws, make sure they're snug down, and then it's always a good idea to tug on the wires just to make sure everything's secure. Then you can just go ahead and put the cover back on and put the screws in. Now I'm ready to connect the wire to the input of the inverter. And so I'm just gonna use a screwdriver to loosen up each of the screws on the top of the inverter. You wanna make sure you put it on the input side. The black wire is gonna go to the L or live. The N is for the white or neutral. And then the green goes to the ground. So I've got everything hooked up. So now I'm going to connect it to the power for my house and make sure it's working. But before I do that, if you're getting value out of this video, go ahead and hit the like button. It really helps us out. And consider subscribing. I'll be doing a full walkthrough of our electrical system here in the next week or so and posting that to our YouTube channel. So you'll definitely want to check that out if you're interested in a deep dive of exactly what components I've used, what size wires, what size fuses, and how I hooked everything up. Okay, so I've got the plug, I've got the adapter so that I can hook it to a 110 outlet in a regular, like a home outlet. If I was at an RV park, I wouldn't use this adapter. I'd plug it directly into the 30 amp circuit. I'm just going to plug that in. You can hear the inverter kick on. And there's a symbol that shows that it's connected to shore power. So we're now getting a charge. So there you go. Pretty simple way to connect shore power. And I think this is going to help out a lot because when my van is sitting here for several days on end, it tends to run down the batteries. So after being connected for about 30 minutes, my battery bank was already from 0 up to 25%. And I think this is going to be a really great way to charge my batteries. It ended up taking about 3.5 hours to charge them completely. I have 3 100 amp hour batteries to charge them from 0 to 100%. So thanks for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one.